I am going to just, the main reason I'm streaming this is because I just want to get it done and over with. I don't feel like editing a video right now. I don't feel like just making a video. I just want to talk about this. Now, this debate between mouse and keyboard players and controller players has gone on for way too long. And I'm not picking a side. I'm going to explain that later. So the reason why this thing started mainly is because for years and years and years, mouse and keyboard players have been elite, top of the game. If you wanted to be good, you had to be on mouse and keyboard. Then Fortnite rolls along. Okay, it's got cross-platform, that's amazing. But then, these players, mouse and keyboard, starts playing against controller players. Then here's when things get a little spicy. And when I say little, I mean very. Constant complaining, constant arguing, and all just because of one big thing that controller has over mouse and keyboard, and that is aim assist. Now today I'm going to be addressing that. I'm going to be addressing the advantages and disadvantages of each side, and what the hell, I just missed that. What I think you could do to stop it, and overall why it's being complained about so much. Some things aren't complained about. I'm just going to mention a lot of the advantages and disadvantages. I'm not saying which one's better. I'm just saying true facts. So, example right here. My controller disconnect. Both my controllers are broken. One doesn't turn on, and this one that I have off to the side just disconnected for no reason. It has trouble connecting with the PS4, and the vibrator's broken. But I'll try my best to make the video off of previous times I've used controller and stuff. I can still use it now, it just won't be that great of an experience for me. Me personally, I want to be a hybrid player. I've played controller for 11 years, so I know what I'm talking about. Mouse and keyboard I've played for around a year, but I've gotten extremely good with my mechanics on mouse and keyboard, and that's one thing I really quickly want to address. The first thing that a lot of console players complain about when keyboard and mouse players complain about aim assist is the building and editing. A lot of people, most people on controllers say that building and editing on mouse and keyboard is so much easier to get used to. I got used to 90s in about a month on mouse and keyboard. Zigzag 90s, same time, because I was practicing those as well. Controller, you want to know how long it took me to start doing zigzag? It took me more than about a year. And yes, at the start of the game, 90s weren't a thing, but even when they were, I was literally practicing them and I just could not get them down on controller. I will give it to the controller players that it is harder to build and edit. When it comes to building and editing though, mouse and keyboard has advantages, disadvantages, and so does controller have advantages and disadvantages. So let's go over the main advantages of mouse and keyboard. So when it comes to editing, as we all know, it is so much harder to find keybinds for building and editing on a controller, controls on a controller for editing and building, because there's so little. On the controller, there's two buttons, at least on the PS4 one, there's two buttons you cannot use. That's options and share. With Xbox, you can't use the start button. So, and their button that you can actually use is extremely tiny and uncomfortable to hit. So, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 buttons that you can actually use on the PS4 controller. Same for Xbox, because you technically just take off the touchpad and replace it with the back button you can use that. It's still 15, I believe. Yeah, still 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, and on mouse and keyboard, even though half the keys you don't even use, you still have 108 keys you can use around. That's just a number, like, well, yeah, it's like usually 108, some 61, but there's so many buttons on mouse and keyboard. Like, I have a button bound to every single one of my weapons, so you can automatically swap to your weapons. So really quickly, I'm gonna go over combat. So, with combat, mouse and keyboard, as you can see, anytime I want, I can just swap to whatever weapon I want to swap to. If I'm in a heated battle, I can just pull up my shotgun and shoot. Controller, just turn it on really quickly. Controller, you literally have to swap through your weapons like this. And then to go to your build mode, you have to swap to it like this. You literally have to press a button and then start building, and when you're done, you know, you have to press either your pickaxe button or you need to press your build mode button. Now, with mouse and keyboard, literally all you need to build is just press that button and you're good. Right. So, as you can see, I just swapped to my shotgun. If you're doing the same thing on here, you can't just, you know, go to your shotgun first. You have to press, you know, your triangle button. I guess it's kind of the same, but like combat and building can be a lot more difficult on controller, along with like editing and stuff like that. Like, practically everything is harder on controller. Like, and a lot of people say to mouse and keyboard players, like, if they, like a lot of pros, they pick up a controller and they cannot build at all, which is a thing I do understand, because as you can see, I'm cranking, oh, yeah. As you can see, oh damn, I forgot to get my wall. I'm just gonna pretend like we don't see this. As you can see, I could do that on mouse and keyboard. Can I do that on console? Hell no. Like, and I have an 11-year controller background. So that quite says a lot about the whole debate. So mouse and keyboard players, if they basically if they try to say that it's easier to build on controller, it's wrong. If you've never played a game before, right, and you swap to controller, it is so much harder to learn. So we could do iron too here and probably end the stream. Almost. I just can't. I just can't.